Hello everyone, welcome to another Space Engineers video, and this is a tutorial on how to start from starter, like survival, and how to actually build up in a decent manner and be able to build things without having to worry too much about resources. So I'm going to start a new world. I'm going to go to custom world. I'm going to go all the way down to on this list in custom world down to the bottom and hit star system. Okay. Once you hit star system, you can also give it a name, and I'm going to call this survival world. So you spell world. Okay. So obviously you want survival. You can play online if you want friends, so this is obviously an option you can just select and hit friends, private, public, whatever. Public will let so anyone can really join. Private means you have to have like an invite. Friends can just join. Offline means offline. Obviously I'm not going to use any mods. You can turn autosave on or off. And if I go to advanced, you can see all the options here. One recommended thing is if you can find day duration and change that down to a lower number. I like 24 minutes because that's like 24 hours, but every minute's an hour, so I like that option. And I'm also going to turn off block limitation. Now, I don't recommend you do that, but for this tutorial, I don't have to ever worry about information, and I have a pretty decent computer, so that's an option I'd like to choose off, and I'm going to hit OK. And once all that's done, you can then hit Start World. Okay everyone, here's the list of options you can choose from, and I like to start from Earth, because Earth is actually, as you can see, difficulty very easy, because it has an atmosphere and has almost all the resources and oxygen to breathe, which is quite nice. It also has a bit of gravity, but if you look like Europa, you can see how it has an oxygen level of 0, it makes it quite a bit harder. So once we're going to start for Earth for this, I'm going to hit respawn. Okay, as you can see, we're now in the world, and it looks like we're in a decently hilly area, which is not bad. Decent place to start out from. There goes the chute. Get inside. Wait until it hits the ground. I'll show you what to start from. So the differences between starting on a planet and starting on a like in space is in space and all that you have to worry about like our oxygen and have to produce it. So if you're on a planet that has no oxygen, it can be very difficult. But as you can see, I have low oxygen, which is still fine. You can still breathe in low oxygen. It's not the perfect, but you can still breathe in it. So, okay, so on this little craft we have here, we have this one, which is, you have the seat over here. This is your oxygen generator. So if you click it, you'll have oxygen bottles, and you'll have like hydrogen bottles, so for your jetpack is what this is used for, and your ice. So this will turn like ice, which is, there's no water on this planet, but turn ice into like all your useful stuff, which is quite nice. Then this is your, what they call your survival kit, right here. So this is where if you need like to recharge your batteries, you can hold this and it'll recharge all your stuff down at the bottom left. And if you click this big thing, this is the survival kit. So once you're in the survival kit, I like to do first start to go to production. And when you hit production, it says survival kit. This is the list of what this survival kit can do. So because it's a survival kit, we can take stone and turn it into very useful resources. So I like to, like if you shift click it, it'll add like 100 at a time. And I just like to add like up to like 2,000 or something, just so I don't have to worry about it. And that's when we put stone into the inventory, it'll turn everything into. So now also once we're here, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff, and let's see where a good place to build kind of a starter base would be. I kind of like to build it into the edge of a cliff or something. So, but you know what, maybe we're just right here out in the open would be fine. So recommendation is dirt, like the very top layers are very useless. They don't produce a lot of stuff, so I like to just dig it out. So once you get out a bit area like this, you can then start actually just kind of digging out for rock. which I prefer to say is right click will dig, left click on at least PC will dig tunnel. So to dig this out first, you can just tunnel. You're not really wasting too much, and you can see stone and all that. You can just pick them up and just keep kind of going around in here, because now all of it will go down into the center, which is quite nice. So you don't have to worry about it rolling down a hill or anything. It's very nice because you need all as much as we can get. Just pick it all up. As you can see, I'm not getting very much. That's because I'm still in the dirt. For some reason, this area seems to be very deep right where I am. Or top layer. So I guess it's not really dirt, but it's the top layer. So maybe we went to the side of those cliffs over there. Let's see. Get up like there, those. That'd be better stone. But I'm digging here, so that's where I'm going to start from. Let's see if we get deeper. So in Space Engineers, it's more about designing things, but there's still life, and it's not the best, but it's not bad, but it's a lot better than it used to be. So, oh, is this stone? Let's turn our flashlight on. Looks like it. It is, yes, okay. So this stuff is, produce more rocks per time spent. Which is quite nice. It's still called stone, so it's not like it's actually a different resource or anything, but it's still pretty good. Let's see. Okay. So then you take all the rocks you collected, which is the bar at the bottom, which is red right now. You bring it over to your survival kit, and you strike it and place it in here. What this is to do, as you can see, it's turning the stone into gravel, iron, nickel, and silicone. So this stuff is very useful for creating things down there. You need quite a bit, so mostly iron is what we need, but that little bit's not going to do us justice. So we just need to keep digging for a lot more stone. Okay. Let's see. So now you can see now it's full. It can't hold very much. It can only hold 1,000 liters of stone. So it's not a lot, or any resources up here to produce things. But there we go. What we're going to do is we're going to go to production, and we're going to click steel plate 4 times. And then once it's done processing the rock, it will then make steel plates. Let's see. And I'll show you what we're going to do with those steel plates. So once you have the steel plates, you're going to drag them into your inventory. As you can see at the bottom, we have like blocks, and then you have what looks like a wind turbine. Now, because I'm on Earth, we have like atmosphere, so blocks are very useful, or windmills are very useful. But if you're in space or a planet that doesn't have an atmosphere, wind turbines are also, or solar is a good bet. But what you want to produce is you also want to place one of these basic refineries, which then should look like that. A basic assembler. There. Oh, seem to don't have enough. There you go. A basic assembler. Now these two things you definitely need. So those things that are definitely something you can prioritize, which is definitely very useful. If you ever get hurt too, you can just come over here. Like I have low energy, as you can see, and I come up here. You can recharge from the survival kit. So very useful. But also, as you can see, like if you place a wind turbine like right here, not going to do very much. You want a wind turbine higher. So the first thing we're going to build is I'm going to show you how to build a very useful wind turbine. But first off, you need a lot more stone. So I'll get back when I have harvested quite a bit of stone and put it inside the survival kit. As you can see, it is now dark where I am, so I have my lights on, which is quite nice. But yeah, the other reason why we're actually using a refinery right here instead of the survival kit can't process any ores. So if you have any ores, like if you spawn near like iron or something, you want to throw that into survival kit, it will not work. It has to go into a refinery. As you can see, now that we have a decent amount, what I want to do is I want to get wind. So what I want to do is going to go reduction. I'm going to produce around, I was going to say, probably 8. 8 steel plates is probably good for what we need to do for now. So you want to take those steel plates, and we're going to build the tower with them. So let's see. Can I get them? Yeah. So what you want to do is build a tower, because the higher you build a windmill, the better the wind will be, like the more power it'll output. So let's just get here, and I'm going to build it on top of the survival kit. The survival kit works. Cool. I'm flying, obviously. And once you get to the top, there we go. You want to be careful because you can't hurt yourself with the jetpack. But you see that there, okay. Now we're going to open up our our build menu, which is G by default. And you see this wind solar panel. You want to click that. Come over here. You want to select wind turbine, and then hit add to planner. Once that happens, you come over to survival kit, and you click this little gear with the box. And what that will do is that will start the production of it. So it'll tell us what we're missing, and as you can see, we're obviously missing stone because that's from our gravel mill or whatever. But we have iron, nickel, and silicone, and none of those are red, so we have enough supplies for them. Now it does take a while to build it because the survival kit's slow, so I'll get back to you when this is done. Okay, now that we're almost done, what you're going to do is, let's see it finish. Okay, there we go. You want to go back to inventory. And if you click this arrow with the box, what it'll do is it will take everything you need to what's in your buildings, like what you have selected over here in your plan when you were selecting objects, and bring it over into your inventory. So now, if you go and hit the windmill turbine on our thing, fly up to the top here, place it, and then weld it, we have all the resources we need. We didn't waste any extra time trying to figure out how much we needed or anything. It just worked for us. So there we go, nice and spinning, which is quite nice. Still can't use it though, because we need to have these two working. Which one thing I like to do is, the basic assembler is very important. Obviously, like I said, this, but we don't have a way of crafting no more things than we need. So if you go to it with the welder, you can also right-click things, and you'll see where it says component added to build planner. It adds it down there. So that's very useful. So now we can just go over here to our survival kit and do what we did before, and it'll start building. Now as you can see, we're missing iron for that build kit. So we can go back down here and start mining again. We need a lot of stone. This is very intensive, but until we get that refinery done, there's not really any better way of getting stuff. Also, you can dig however you want. If you want to dig into Seven Mountain, if you're digging into the side of an asteroid or something, it all works. Just you gotta watch what you're doing. Put it all in there. Also, as you can see, my hydrogen level is going down. So if you're in space and it's dropping down way too fast, you can come over here and throw these into your inventory, like that. Same with the oxygen. And it will show down there, if you should look at the hydrogen, it shows the little bottle symbol above it. It will also drain from that, which is quite nice. But because we're on Earth, and we don't really have to, or an Earth-like planet, we do have oxygen and all that, I'm not too worried about it, because it just takes up space in your inventory, which you can use for more rocks, so... Takes quite a while though, but I mean, it was instantly, everyone was doing it, right? So you rush up here, go back to the survival kit, plop that in there. Let's see how close we're getting to. Yeah, we still needed quite a bit more stone. So one thing I don't like about it is how much stone you need, and you can't use ore. So ore might be a little bit difficult to find at first, because you might not know what you're trying to look for. Which is make it quite easy. But ore, I'll show you when it comes daytime because it's also nighttime. Ore spawns in like dark veins. So you can see, like, if you look from the sky or whatever, you can see like darker patches. And that's usually, I mean, it's not always darker, sometimes it is light, but it definitely looks quite obvious from the sky where they are. So I'll show you what that looks like when the sky comes up and when we need to go and get ore. I'll be back once the assembler is done and the refinery have processed. So you do the step I did for the assembler to the refinery, and I'll come back when both these things are ready to be built. Okay, now that we're back, I'm still working on the refinery stuff, but I got enough stuff for the basic assembler. So now we grab all that stuff, come over here, and start welding it. So each assembly you upgrade, so this can be things like, as you can probably see, we couldn't create much stuff in there. once you go opening or get this assembled, you'll see that you have a lot more options to build from. And I like to go all the way. You don't have to go all the way. If you go all the way and something happens to it, it's not going to break immediately. So you go here, production. As you can see, we now have a lot more options to choose from on what to produce. And the thing, we also have tools too. So you can see the different levels of tools. These arrows determine the quality of tool. So we start out with the basic, but you can get upgraded ones too. And then you also have consumables, which is like your ammo and your parachutes and all that. So if you want to, I don't like playing with usually mobs on, like because you can play with like spiders and wolves. Don't usually play with them on, because I find it more tedious. Because I like to build ships and like they're still in space and all that. So, but at least on the ground it makes it quite a bit easier. But if you want to add them, you can always add them for difficulty. So let's now go here and go to controls. We click wind turbine. You can now see the max output of the wind turbine, which is quite nice. And what it's currently outputting in its wind clearance. So right now it's optimal, so it has the best clearance. So you can't really get much better than this. And there is weather, so if you're playing during like storms and all that, and it's very windy, these can spin up. They can also slow down, so they can do quite a bit like that. And all, so there's all that extra worry things. But also careful, because like on planets like this, and mostly like the hotter planets, there are thunderstorms that can happen, and they can hit things that are not assembled, like the structure. Usually they'll go for the higher thing, but if you have like just open stuff that's not assembled or something, they can damage it quite badly. So you want to make sure that anything outside is more robust and you have like backups, so you don't have like a bunch of things just connected to one single connection pipe that's not been assembled or anything, because that's very bad. But as you can see, I've like dug out quite a bit of this hole. Now most of this all top part was dug out by the tunnel option, and not the oh, there goes the sun, it looks like, not the collecting thing. So that's why looks like it's a lot more. You shouldn't quite need this much. As you can see, there's a bit more rock down here. But yeah, so let's see. I'm just gonna quickly fly up and see if I can see any ores. I don't think there's any ores near us, but let's see. Yeah, I can't really see without the wind. So I'll get back to you next time it's sunny, and hopefully I'll have the other parts ready for you. Okay, now that we're back, I need to go and select the basic refinery, add it to the build planner, and then we can move all the stuff over. Know that one steel plate, I removed it earlier and put it in here. So now let's assemble this. It might take a while, and then, because obviously these things are not smaller. When you upgrade tools, things build really fast, and doesn't take that long to get upgraded tools. It's just getting these first few things assembled, and then that's where it all comes from there. So as you build new parts, you unlock new things. So you can go to progression, and we see. So the basic assembler unlocks all this stuff. You can unlock these kind of more lights. You need to build these lights, and then once you build an assembler, you can unlock upgrades. Batteries are something useful. You can get into that later. Interior plates, small refinery lets you build bigger refineries, ore detection, landing gear, and all that. So we can get into that later. But I'm going to say that this is the end of the first episode. If you like and want to keep watching and for more tips, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!